2 men are dead in a violent crash in southeastern Kentucky.
And it will take months to repair a train track that collapsed, causing a derailment in central Kentucky.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening to you. A violent, deadly crash in southeastern Kentucky. 2 men were killed when their vehicles collided head-on in Jackson County this morning.
The crash happened on Kentucky 30 near the Jackson-Laurel County line. State police are still investigating what caused it. WKYT's Phil Pendleton talked to those who knew the victims in our top story at 5:30.
Kentucky 30 was shut down in both directions for nearly 3 hours Tuesday morning.
A truck hauling cattle and a passenger car.
Relatives say 46-year-old Jerry Smokey McQueen had just left his home in Anvil and was headed for the stockyards in London when his truck hit head-on with a car driven by 29-year-old Frankie Sizemore.
When I got on scene, it was really apparent it was a very violent crash. There didn't seem to be any skid marks in the road that we could see.
A relative tells me that McQueen will be remembered as being a wonderful father to his 2 daughters, a great community man, someone who would help his neighbors in any situation. The coroner says that Sizemore, his wife, and children were living in Tyner because their Manchester home had recently burned down. We're told that Sizemore worked at Flowers Bakery in London. McQueen was a well-known farmer in the Greenmount area.
Down to earth, good old country fellow.
Police are still investigating the cause of the crash. Officials say they're not sure if the weather was a factor.
It wasn't raining, but the roads were still wet.
The emergency management director says the new Kentucky 30 is a much safer road, but that it's very easy to exceed the speed limit. In Jackson County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
We are told that Lake's Funeral Home in McKee will be handling arrangements for the Jerry McQueen family. Britton Funeral Home in Manchester will handle arrangements for the Frankie Sizemore family.
A man killed in a deadly overnight crash in southern Kentucky has now been identified. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Pulaski County. The coroner says a 32-year-old Adam Smith crashed his truck into a tree along Highway 1247 near Somerset about 5 this morning. The coroner thinks Smith may have fallen asleep when he went off the road. Smith is from Lincoln County. His parents say they are not sure why he was in Pulaski County. In Casey County, a church will need thousands of dollars in repairs after a truck crashed into the building. Police say a medical emergency caused the driver to slam into the Middleburg church. The Advocate Messenger reports the driver went to the hospital, but there's no word on his condition. The church's pastor told the paper there's probably structural damage and the whole wall will have to be replaced.
The cleanup continues in Bourbon County. Early Monday morning, a train derailed in Paris, sending 3 train cars right over an embankment. And one of them, carrying coal, crashed into Stoner Creek. Today, we've learned that it's going to take months to repair all the damage. WKYT's Victor Puente got a look at the damage, and he has some of the 911 calls from the crash. It's new at 5:30.
The cleanup here in Paris is expected to continue for months. Part of that is making sure there's no long-term environmental impact. While the cars have been removed from the track in the creek, the work to remove the coal they were carrying is just beginning. The 911 call that alerted authorities to the crash came from CSX. Their operator was very calm considering what was happening, but the news surprised the dispatcher.
I just wanted to make you guys aware that we had a derailment in your area. The closest crossing that I could find is going to be Main Street, East Main Street.
Holy crap. Okay.
Paris police think the ground beneath the track gave way, sending 3 cars tumbling.
It's right near the river. Some of the cars did fall into the river.
What were they carrying?
Coal cars.
Coal cars?
Emergency crews said 2 people were on the train but weren't injured. Rebuilding the wall those tracks ran on is expected to take months. There was fear of a sewage leak, but that was repaired. As for the coal dumped in Stoner Creek, crews are building a road down to the water to clean that up.
I'll get everybody I can en route and we'll start working.
While one track here is gone, there have been a few trains allowed to pass by on the other track. Obviously, that's not happening while this work is going on. In Bourbon County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The Bourbon County Sheriff tells WKYT that no drinking water has been contaminated in Paris because it is upstream. There are worries, though, the spill will contaminate places downstream like Cynthiana, but that has not yet been determined.
A blustery day around the Bluegrass. Winds are blowing in some colder air into our area.
And with that air could come the chance of some snowflakes out there. WKYT's chief meteorologist Chris Bailey has the details in a first look at your forecast. Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys. Yeah, any snowflakes we get out there later tonight into Wednesday should not be a big deal at all. Just a reminder that winter is just getting started. Temperatures right now low 40s, a colder trip home for many of us across central and eastern Kentucky compared to what we were dealing with a little earlier in the day. And we still have a couple of showers showing up on Live First Alert Defender. Not so much across the Bluegrass corridor from I-64 and south. Now we get north of 64 into parts of northern Scott County. Cynthiana, gave you fair warning, little showers coming your way. And right on top of us from Barry down towards Cynthiana, may skim into northern parts of Bourbon County. Carlisle will get in on some of those drops too. Southeastern Kentucky, still a little band of some showers hanging tough into West Liberty, Salyersville, Big Sandy Valley. Our flow is coming from northwest to southeast, so whatever is showing up across the Hoosier State is going to continue to swing on in over the next several hours. Speaking of swinging on in, weather headlines with that colder air that is settling back into town. That may allow for a few snow flurries to fly later tonight and into the day tomorrow. Now, as we get deeper into the week, from Thursday into the weekend, we have the potential for some out-and-out light snows to break out. We'll break down those threats when I come back in less than 15 minutes.
See you then, Chris. Thank you. Fall forest season is over in Kentucky, but even though the season is over, the State Division of Forestry wants people to still be careful with any kind of outdoor burning. Arson is still the leading cause of wildfires in the state, but firefighters are seeing debris fires increasing. The division says that increase may be due to the large amount of dead trees and limbs from storm damage.
A very unusual situation as a mountain lion has been killed in central Kentucky. The animal was found in Bourbon County yesterday afternoon. Kentucky Fish and Wildlife officials say a woman who was walking her dog in Paris spotted the mountain lion. They think the dog scared the lion, causing it to run up into a tree. The woman called Fish and Wildlife, and they shot and killed the big cat. With many people interested today in the shooting of that mountain lion, a first for the state, we have this good question today. Does the state regulate or have rules about shooting or trapping so-called big cats in Kentucky? For the mountain lion, no, because they are not normally found in Kentucky out in the wild. Very rare what happened this week. But there are restrictions on hunting and trapping another kind of cat, the bobcat, which is much smaller but is found all over the state. In fact, about 2,000 bobcats, also known as wildcats, are trapped or hunted every year in Kentucky. That's allowed this year from November 22nd to next year to February 28th, 1/2 hour before sunrise and through the daylight hours. Bobcats are about twice the size of a domestic cat, usually weighing 13 to 40 pounds. Mountain lions can weigh up to 250 pounds. If you have a good question, go to WKYT.com.
I'm Bill Bryant. Republicans may soon get another candidate for governor, and Louisville eases closer to enacting the first local minimum wage ordinance in Kentucky. The bottom line is coming up.
Republicans may be adding another name to the list of candidates for governor.
And Kentucky's biggest cities getting closer to raising the minimum wage. WKYT's Bill Bryant tells us how high Louisville wants to go in the bottom line.
Good evening. Would-be candidates for governor are assessing their chances and making plans as the holidays approach, and the filing deadline is just over a month away. The primary is coming up in May. Kentucky Supreme Court Justice Will T. Scott of Pikeville indicates he's about 90% sure he'll be running for the Republican nomination for governor. Scott told the Herald Leader that he will know by the time he cuts down his Christmas tree, but he says any kind of announcement would likely come early in the new year. Will Louisville raise its local minimum wage? A council committee has passed and moved on to the full council a proposed ordinance that would increase Louisville's minimum from the current $7.25 an hour to $10.10 an hour. The vote was along party lines, with Democrats favoring and Republicans opposing, but the city's Democratic mayor, Greg Fisher, vows to veto the measure if it passes. The council vote in Kentucky's largest city is set for Thursday. Kentucky's Education Commissioner Terry Holliday recently apparently got an outstanding review from the state school board. But he was modest about that and says he is giving his raise to charity after taxes. Holliday is proud of progress for Kentucky schools, but says there are still big issues to tackle, like equity and testing and modernizing the curriculum being taught. Holliday is booked as our guest for this weekend's edition of Kentucky Newsmakers. We'll conduct that interview tomorrow and start airing excerpts after that. And Kentuckians are remembering a longtime leader who has died in office after first being elected in 1974. Marshall County Judge Executive Mike Miller was 70 years old. Many politicians around the state who got to know him over the last 40 years valued his advice. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Still with a lot of clouds and showers across parts of central and eastern Kentucky. Coming up, we're going to be talking about the potential for some winter weather showing up in the days before Christmas.
I'm Sam Smith in Bourbon County, where a mountain lion was found. Coming up at 6, we'll tell you what fish and wildlife experts are saying about this find.